Yo, what is going on, guys? I'm laying here on the floor at my mother's house because visiting for the holiday, so I'm not at my usual setup, and this is where I found myself more comfortable. So before we start today's video, let me hear your opinion on the power rankings. This is CBS Sports. Let me hear your comments. Who's the number of the team? Who's going to win the NBA championship? And let's get into it. So number one, they have the Los Angeles Lakers. Yeah, they're pretty insane. We've seen Talen Horton-Tucker just being a beast on the other side of the courts, both sides, being a two-way player, and he seems like he's going to be a great fit for them at the shooting guard position. Montrezl Harrell's going to be a beast. Hopefully Kyle Kuzma is going to continue to have this high confidence and just balling out for them, and they have hell of depth. I feel like this team might be better than last year's team. Like, I know they're missing a little bit in rebounding, but don't be surprised. Giannis Antetokounmpo is staying. Can you believe that? I want to know. Can you believe the fact that he's staying? And don't make fun of how I'm laying. I'm laying on the goddamn floor. But look, Giannis Antetokounmpo is just signed his extension. They got Drew Holiday, who signed his extension. And honestly, Bobby Portis has looked really good while being there. This team has the depth and enough caliber to go into a heavyweight matchup against the Los Angeles Lakers for the NBA Finals, I think. The Miami Heat. It's over. Goodbye, Giannis. James Harden, move in. Do you guys think right now, if you're a Miami's Heat fan, do you think they're going to go and pull the trigger on this? You guys were waiting, trying to see if this guy was going to come, Giannis, but he's not. So look, go for James. I think, look, imagine Jimmy and James next together. I know people are going to be like, he doesn't play winning basketball, but imagine if James was always in the best shape of his life, because we know how good the Miami Heat conditioning team is and how good, like, they get players into shape. So I think it wouldn't be that bad. But look, Mo Harkless was brought in. He's a good replacement for Jay Crowder. Bam Adebayo, I see, taking a huge step. Tyler Hero, another huge step. Same thing with Duncan Robinson, another big step. In the sense, Duncan Robinson, I think he's going to be scoring even more. And I think this team is literally going to be the second best team. Or somehow, if the Bucks don't get better, I think I can't see him sneaking the first seed. The Clippers. I think the Clippers, they had a chemistry problem. They got a new coach in Ty Lue. And Ty Lue does some good stuff with the X and O's. Like, we saw his one play where he used to get Kyle Korver and Kevin Love open for these threes in the corner. So it's a good play. So Serge Ibaka is a better replacement than Montrezl Harrell because he is a better defensive player and he offers three-point spacing. So it'll be really good. Kawhi Leonard did put up career numbers, and Paul George needs to just not choke in the playoffs and just be a good player. Brooklyn Nets. Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving, if they're healthy for the entire season, if they're the number one season, don't be surprised, because if these two guys are completely healthy, they have two top 10 players, two top 15. You can argue if Kyrie is in top 10, but Kevin Durant definitely is top 5, okay? And look, if you think about it, Brooklyn Nets Kevin Durant is hurt, so we'll just say two top 10. You could argue two top 15 players on their team. So don't be surprised if they're the number one seed. Yes, Denver Nuggets lost Jeremy Grant, but Jeremy Grant isn't that big of a loss. Look, they have Bol, and they brought in another guy. I'm like literally blanking on his name. They have Michael Porter Jr., but there's another guy beside Paul Millsap. And, I think that's just going to be a really good team, because this team is going to be interesting due to the fact that they have so much. It's like Gary Harris and Will Barton need to be good, or they're going to have to find shooting guards. Jamal Murray and Nikola Jokic are the beast, and they re-signed Monte Morris, which is great. Michael Porter Jr. needs to really get the minutes in to see if he can be the man. I really do think it's a great moment what they're having right there, and I'm like blanking right now on the guy the Denver Nuggets brought in as a power forward who's going to be competing with Bol. I literally talked about him in my Denver Nuggets video, and I really apologize, but if you're a Denver Nuggets fan, go check that out. So I'm sorry if you heard that message. And let's continue. The Boston Celtics. Oh, I love the Boston Celtics. My dad's a huge Boston Celtics fan. But the Boston Celtics start off the season with some big holes in their lineups. Look, they're trying to replace Gordon Hayward, which I don't really think is a big deal. Yeah, Kemba Walker is out until January, but Peyton Pritchard's been hyped up so much, and I love that cat. So I can see him being like this year's Tyler Hero, in the sense that he'll break out like that. Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown will continue to dominate, and I really hope Jaylen Brown continues to get even better on offense. So the Raptors should be worse, but I don't think they will. Nick Nurse is a beast. I think Pascal Siakam will be really good. Just from talking to Raptors fans who comments on my videos, they told me that the reason why Pascal wasn't good was the fact that he hadn't touched the basketball since the beginning of quarantine because he was living in Canada and he didn't have anything. So he was just rusty. And I think he's just going to redeem himself, have a chip on his shoulder. Fred VanVleet, same thing. Norman Powell is somebody everyone counts out if you are following the NBA. Nobody talks about Norman Powell. Don't be surprised. Norman Powell is going to be a beast. Also, why aren't people talking about the Raptors potentially being in the James Harden sweepstakes? I just want to say that. That's something that people need to talk about. Number 9, Daryl Morey. I don't even know. I know it's actually Daryl Morey. But look, they got rid of Al Horford. They brought in Danny Green, Seth Curry. Yeah, sometimes you have James Harden, but keep Ben Simmons and Joel Embiid. Doc Rivers, not a huge fan of him as a coach, but he is a good coach. He's a second-tier coach, first tier being the top 5 coaches: Nick Nurse, Greg Popovich, Eric Spoelstra. Who did I miss? Brad Stevens, and there's a 5th guy right there that I'm forgetting about. If I really think about it, I can remember, but he's right below those guys. Next, Quin Snyder. I think this offense is going to be doing really good. Donovan Mitchell and Mike Conley will be really good. And Bojan Bogdanovic, I think it is, because they wrote Bogdanovic, but I think Bogdan is on the other team. So tell me if I'm right there. Rudy Gobert, I think he's been exposed. I'm not a huge Rudy Gobert guy. Udoka Azubuike, I think, was brought in to replace him. They brought back Derek Favors. It's interesting to see. Look, I think Andrew Wiggins is going to have a breakout year for the Warriors. Kelly Oubre at the small forward position. Shooting guard, I think they should run Wiggins. Draymond Green at the center position. Now, power forward position with Eric Pascal. Center position, they should bring out my man Wiseman in the rotation with Chris and Looney. Because Steve Kerr's way too loyal to Looney, and we know he's going to play him. Then Brad Wanamaker's a good signing. Kent Bazemore's good to help the depths in there to run their small ball lineups. Trailblazers brought in Rob Covington and Derrick Jones Jr., 2 guys who are athletic. Robert Covington being a great defensive player. Hopefully he can recapture his mojo that he struggled with last year. Derrick Jones Jr., wow, an athletic freak. I think this guy is really good, and he's just going to get better every year. Maybe his three-point may come around this year. Hopefully Gary Trent Jr. does recapture that magic he had in the bubble. The Mavs, it all comes down to how Porzingis is playing, and I know he's expected to miss time, but hopefully the league's best offense should be able to continue and get wins. But look, Luka Doncic. I heard it's not Doncic. It's Doncic. Luka Doncic. I'm just gonna say Luka. Tell me, someone told me it's not Luka Doncic, because that's how Reggie Miller says it's wrong. So I'm over here, and everyone's gonna be going in the comment section you fucking suck. So I'm gonna say Luka. If Luka isn't good, but Josh Richardson and Josh Green are just gonna be 2 good 3-and-D guys. I think this team's going to be better than 13. I think they're going to be it's just a team you should be worried about. Look, the Pacers. It all comes down to if Victor Oladipo can be healthy. Can Miles Turner continue to progress? I think Nate Jorkin is great hiring. He'll diversify the offense. I think this team's going to be a lot surprise you. I see him being a 5th or a 16th. The Suns should be higher. Chris Paul is just going to make this team go. We should see Chris Paul make the most out of this team and bring his team up. I think they'll be a really good team and a team you should watch out for. Look, James Harden is leaving. I don't know what they're going to do. He looks fat. He looks like a bum. I'm not really counting on the Rockets being anything more than a 7th or an 8th seed. I think John Wall and Marcus Cousins could play really well, and Christian Wood will be really well. It'll be an interesting team to play because it'll be different because Harden isn't there. The Hawks. Don't think they're making the jump this year. Yeah, they brought on Bogdanovic. Kevin Huerter's there, but Kevin Huerter will be taking the next step. Daniel Gallinari. They have lob threats and Clint Capella, John Collins. I could see Clint Capella getting replaced so they can re-sign John Collins. So re-sign John Collins and trade Clint Capella maybe at deadline or in the offseason. Put Onyeka Okongwu at center. Then they have talent with DeAndre Hunter and Cam Reddish. Literally, just time will tell with this team. Ja Morant is leading the new grit and grind Grizzlies, where they're a modern interpretation, where they're spacing the floor, but they're a physical team. Young, Brandon Clark, JJJ, Triple J. John Morant, just a really interesting team. The Pelicans, Zion Williamson, Brandon Ingram, Lonzo Ball, JJ Redick, Stan Van Gundy could surprise us by turning this team into the most three-point team, like most attempted and highest completion or like makes. Dude, I've been just rambling for so long. The Spurs literally are it's just weird that their playoff streak ended and it didn't really spark a rebuild. They need their leaders right there. I'm a huge fan. But look, DeJounte Murray, Keldon Johnson, Derek White, Lonnie Walker, one of them needs to emerge into a superstar. Hopefully it could be Lonnie Walker the fourth because I'm a huge fan of him. Jonathan Isaac is out for the season and we were hoping he could take his steps into becoming a really good player. But no, the thing is you got to understand is that he needs to really just I think he's going to become like MKG in the sense he never develops offensively due to injury. We see Markelle Fultz. Hopefully he can get to the next step. The Wizards could be a lot better. It all comes down to Russell Westbrook and Bradley Beal if they can play really well, and the rest of the court team if they can mesh together. Either way, look, they still might struggle to begin the season, but this could be a team that could be really good. Another team that could surprise us if Luke Walton could be a really good guy is the Kings. Tyrese Halliburton's been really good. Marvin Bagley needs to stop playing like a small forward. Will Buddy Hield stay? And De'Aaron Fox needs to really take the next step. He's great. He's taking the next step, but he just needs to be a super efficient player to be considered a superstar. Bulls, it's interesting to see what they're going to do here. Can Billy Donovan rebuild this team and develop it? In the sense, not rebuild it, but develop the guys in the sense Kobe White and Wendell Carter Jr. and Pat White. Lauri Markkanen needs to recapture that magic from his rookie year. Otto Porter can be a really good 3-and-D guy in this year. LaMelo Ball is going to get them a lot of tickets when they do start being able to sell tickets, but right now they're going to be able to have huge streaming numbers and viewership because of him. Gordon Hayward's the $120 man. Hopefully he can mentor and mesh this team together and be actually a really good signing. Timberwolves could be a team that will surprise you with the best three-point shooting big man in the league and his best friend next to him, D'Angelo Russell. It'll be a really good thing, and if Anthony Edwards can stop looking like a fucking bum that I know he is, he can make this team good. Next, the Pistons are a weird team because they're trying to turn themselves into the Raptors. Really, they're just signing a bunch of lanky players, positionless players. Also, I really hope Josh Jackson can rebuild himself there. New York Knicks really are going to continue sucking. I love RJ Barrett. I love the Mitchell Robinson, Julius Randle, Elfrid Payne. They're really just the Kentucky Knicks. Then you got the Cleveland Cavaliers, Colin Sexton at the shooting guard, Darius Garland as point guard. Get rid of Kevin Love if that possible. You might need to patch him with a pick, but put Dylan Windler at the power forward position and run Andre at the center position. Look, I love Alexei Pukavetsky. I think he's gonna be great, and I think he's gonna be a steady dose. I think it's just gonna be awesome. But guys, that's pretty much been the video. I've rambled my mouth off long enough. But as always, guys, let me hear your comments down below. Hope you guys have a great day, because I know I will. Till next, guys, peace out.